Hi, so this is our final video on cultural intelligence. Cultural intelligence, remember, can be abbreviated as CQ, and it's different from emotional intelligence or just IQ in a couple important ways. IQ is a discussion of how smart you are, and that's actually terribly inaccurate, but it's really a discussion of how linguistically and mathematically competent or likely you are to be competent. You are. That's IQ. EQ is how emotionally intelligent you are, how well you understand what you are feeling and what others are feeling in any given situation. There's even been some emergence of a discussion of social intelligence, but that might actually be a subset of EQ. Cultural intelligence is how culturally smart you are, how likely you are to succeed in cross-cultural or multicultural settings, and increasingly, everyone is going to be in cross-cultural and multicultural settings for big pieces of their lives. This is rapidly emerging as the number one intelligence, number one predictor for success in the global marketplace or just success in a place on the globe. So we've talked about cultural intelligence: drive, knowledge, and strategy. And these are three of the four competencies that comprise cultural intelligence. How much you want to cross the culture, how much you know about the culture, how well you can plan an interaction based on what you know, and then action. How likely are you, and how good are you at acting on what you know and have planned? So a way that I think about this, because remember, I'm also operating not just with these categories, but I'm operating with Donald Smith's onion, those 12 signal systems that comprise the behavior layer of the onion. There's videos about that on this channel. When I'm observing the onion, I'm observing the culture, I'm observing these behaviors, and I am seeing the outer layer of their culture, of who they are, of their people, their us. That's what I'm observing. Action, culturally intelligent action, is when I use those 12 signal systems the way they would, or the way they do, within a certain range, right? When we talk about this, we talk about core and flex. There are parts of you that are core, that they're not necessarily culturally driven, but many of them are. But there are the bits of you that if these bend or break, you lose you. You stop being who you are down in the very belly of your ship. The rest of you can flex. The core must not flex, and the rest of you must. Okay? So to the degree that I can change my behavior to match my host culture's behavior along those 12 signal systems without violating my core, to the degree that I do that, that is how culturally intelligent my actions are. That's how well I'm behaving myself in my host culture. So remember, there's lots of signal systems. It's not just what you say, it's also how you say it. It's not just what you say and how you say it, but it's how you stand when you say it. It's not just how you stand when you say it, but it's the colors that you choose to wear. It's the color of the flowers that you choose to bring. It's the flavor of the food that you bring as a guest. It is the amount of time that you give to certain activities versus how much time you give to other activities. It's the way that you decorate your living room. It's all of it. It's all the signal systems. 12 signal systems worth of meaningful ways that you can actually step, not just be motivated, not just know where you're stepping, not just know how to step, but take a step across the cultural distance. Can you execute your plan? You made a plan. CQ strategy, you made a plan. You planned an encounter. You planned how you would inhabit an encounter differently. Can you do it? This one's, honestly, I have my cultural intelligence scores are like weirdo high. They're great. Most of my great is in these two categories, and I've got some great in this category, and this is my weakest one. Culturally intelligent action is my weakest category, and it's around this particular topic. Okay, I mentioned this in the last video. I just really hate attention to externals. And it is a really, really important part of the culture that I live in. And so I've been submitting to the warp and woof of that. It's still really hard for me to give time, to take time. It's hard for me to take time from my kids or from a conversation or from coaching someone or from just reading and getting better at something to press my suit or suits or to it's amazing how angry I can get in the morning when I have to try to tie my tie like 6 times to get the length of the front and back of the tie right, and it just eats the time, and then I'm like spazzing on the way to work, and I hate it. I find that I'm hating this culture's need for me to be in a suit and tie in certain settings, and too many settings according to my number of settings that I want to be in a suit in, right? They wash their cars all the time. All the time they wash their cars. Why? Because they don't want the car to look dirty. And I thought that was because they want to look good and they want to look better than other people. But when I've asked people, and I've asked a bunch of people, they say, this is our city. Why would we want our city to look bad? I don't want to contribute to a bad looking city for us. So I'm driving around in my dirty car because why would I wash my car? It's raining. So it's raining like every 3 days. It's raining mud here. Why would I wash the car? If I want to make sure it's going to rain mud, I just got to wash the car. But they're all washing their cars. They're all scrubbing their cars or taking it to the car wash. Cars are constantly being washed. Guys are constantly getting their beards professionally trimmed by somebody. Because their external appearance is the way they are communicating to everyone that I care about how this goes for us. And I know, and people from this culture, they know in their bones that how they are perceived is coin. It's one of the levers that they can use to try to control what happens to them, try to make their people safe. That's important. That's important to them. It's important. It should be important to me. And increasingly over long years, it is important more to me. But can I execute my plan? That's really the question with CQ Action. Can I do it? And can you do it right? So these things don't exist independent of one another. Drive awakens the hunger to learn. If you're smart with what you learn, you make a plan. As you make a plan, you execute it, CQ Action. And if you execute your plan and it goes medium well, that really stokes the drive engine, which makes you want to learn more and makes you want to make better and more accurate plans and even share your plans with others to help them be more accurate or more strategic or more intelligent in their actions. And if that goes well, it stokes the flame. When it goes badly, you can always back up and reflect some more and then try it again, and that will stoke the flame. But not acting on what you know provokes people in your host culture to not like you, and that greatly demotivates you. Greatly demotivates you. It is amazing how motivating it is to hear, man, you speak the language so well. Man, you're one of us. Or had to be introduced as, he's an American, but he's one of us. And to be standing there dressed just like him, holding my body just like him. And there's other situations where I'm looking around and I'm seeing how sad my coworkers are because I'm not dressed appropriately for the day, for this particular special day that I didn't know about. I should have somehow found out about it. I didn't know how I was supposed to find out about it because I don't have the appropriate knowledge of the communication system, and so I can't make a strategic action, right? But when I'm not dressed exactly in the right color scheme, to see the impact that it has, the discouraging impact, also discourages me. It demotivates me, and it makes me want to kind of back up and back out and hole up in my house. These all relate to each other. So if you can find your motivators, find them and dwell on them. Dwell in that feeling of desire and let it drive you to learn. And not just learn sort of generally, but learn about those systems and those norms and values. And then make an intelligent plan that's both self-aware and other-aware. And then act. Act. And what you will do, what you're doing is you are showing respect and concern and willingness and reach and love. And what I found is that love covers a multitude of mistakes. Okay, that is culturally intelligent action. Go take some.